I put a lot of takes out there on the internet, most recently this week being about how much I want the LCS, League of Legends, and other esports to hit the road a little bit more. And one of the benefits of now having a little bit of a larger following is that I have people in my DMs correcting me on certain things or giving me bits of public information and directing me to the right sources that give me a little bit more clarity on some things that I quite frankly do need to understand if I'm going to talk about them. So I need to order more contacts and get better clarity on my vision. So let's use this time to talk about it. $48 million. That's how much it cost to put on Valorant Masters in Istanbul last year. That is confirmed by the clip you're about to see now.
I mean, that's not that much considering that Valorant spent $48 million on their Istanbul event. To put it in perspective for you, the one event, as epic as it was.
If you divide that out by the 19 days that the tournament lasted, which obviously I don't think they played on every day, I'm not 100% certain on Valorant's format, but just using that as a general average, you're well over $2 million a day for these tournaments. So great, we have one side of the equation now, we know the expenses. But the question becomes, how much revenue did this tournament generate for them? Via a combination of skin sales, via in-person revenues, whether it's food and beverage, merchandise, everything else. Personally, there's no way they've made $48 million in revenue without being able to add in skins that ended up being bought in-game as a direct result of this tournament, because esports ultimately are marketing. But currently there's no way to trace that. So that excluded, no possible shot that they made $48 million in revenue. If they did, then this whole point is moot, and my point of wanting to hit the road more and do these events more often would be the case. But the fact that we're seeing a reduction in live events and people trying to wean away from them clearly indicates that we're nowhere close to that point yet. $200 for a 90-day supply of contacts. Because I wear dailies, because I can't stand glasses. I honestly, I wish I could get LASIK, but I have a history of glaucoma in my family, so that's not possible. So I just stick to contacts, and my insurance does not cover much, and it sucks. Relevant to what we're talking about, of cost of everything, but Jesus Christ. Anyways, the point that I'm consistently trying to make with people, and what I don't understand is, why do we have to have costs that high? Are you really telling me that there's no way to run these events at a lower scale? I understand, and this has been pointed out to me, that the tech cost of being able to put on the stream, have the multiple POVs is probably the most expensive part, and that's fine. But besides that, do we really need all the glitz and glamour, especially on an LCS, like regular weekly, like for a super week travel event? We don't need all of that. I think the most accurate comparison I can make is we're trying to deliver people a Lamborghini, a Spider, and quite frankly, people just want a Ford Focus and something to get around. Look, I would love to be in stadiums every weekend selling out, but the reality is we're not there yet. Esports isn't there. So why are we trying to push that? Why isn't it acceptable to just go to a college gymnasium in front of 600 people with reduced costs, the bare essentials to just make sure the stream is on, and give the people that are there a good time and a good show? I'm not saying it's gonna be this spectacular event, and I think people are under the assumption that, oh, it'll be a massive hit in broadcast viewership. No, I think having a crowd of 500 people helps, no matter who you are or where you are. And college esports programs have the equipment to be able to help us put on these streams and do these events. It seems like there's a refusal to accept that we need to scale down the product at certain points as well. And just getting on the road more in front of more people is always going to be better. Sure, you're not hitting the global audience, and I know there's a push to try and take esports global and just max out the online product because it has the highest potential of reaching the most amount of people. But the flip side of that is, as we hit a more online world, as we continue to just have these things that pull us away from real life, those things, those points of connection, whether that be watch parties, LAN events, anything else, are just super grounding and super nice to have for people, and they feel amazing to attend. You don't even have to be big. Even if you're just with a group of 20 people, having a LAN yourself or watching something like that, it's amazing. The Overwatch League gets a lot of shit for very understandable reasons. They went big on a game that, quite frankly, is almost too niche in a way, and the audience just isn't growing, and the game itself is just not there compared to something like League of Legends, and you're demanding $60 million to get in. So yeah, that's problematic. But ignoring that and just focusing on New York, San Francisco, and the local audiences that are able to come of this, it's been overall a net positive for local fandom. I've talked previously about the NYXL and their fandom and local community growth, and the San Francisco Shocker, another one, via NRG, who's now in League of Legends. They just signed a deal yesterday that will have an official watch party sponsor, which means that they're going to consistently be engaging with the community and driving fandom there. You give people a reason to go to these events consistently, and you will get more from them and develop long-term fandom that just doesn't exist elsewhere. And League of Legends does not have that city model to be able to do that, but I refuse to believe that a team like, say, FlyQuest or NRG or even Cloud9 couldn't find a sponsor for watch parties and put on one or two of them in major cities each and every week. Only put in the money that you get from the sponsorships. So say you get it sponsored by Wendy's and they're willing to cater the events, and local places willing to bring you in on a Thursday for free because they just want the additional business. 20 extra people for them is 20 extra drinks, food, and everything else, so long as people are willing to buy. That's an overall net positive. It's a low-scale event that accomplishes the same mission that I'm trying to do whenever I say that I want the LCS to tour more. That, I think, is fair, and I'd love to hear any org counter me on this, on why they couldn't do that. Why can't we do those watch parties in local cities, beyond just people like me doing them? Obviously, you know, I'm trying to expand it. I'm trying to have the pool of people that come continue to grow. But orgs have way more assets at their disposal. There's no way that they couldn't do something like that outside of just LA. Because again, I refuse to believe that everybody just wants to watch online League of Legends other than 2 or 3 events a year. There's no way. But to wrap this all up, I understand $48 million per event, that's kind of absurd. And I wouldn't want to be losing money hand over fist either if that was me. If I'm in Riot's shoes and I pitch for more of these events, I'm going to be fired in a matter of 2 days. So it doesn't make sense to continue to push that. But there are other cost-effective ways that you can do this, that honestly, everybody in the esports landscape should be doing everything on a break-even basis. Do I have enough money to cover the activity that I want to do? If so, do it. If you don't do it. And local watch parties and orgs finding sponsors to do that, there's no way you couldn't tell me that that would work. And don't anybody suggest Buffalo Wild Wings, because we all know how that one's going. Anyways, that's it. I'm going home. The next video you'll see from me is the MSI group draw reaction via LFC, which will be up on the channel on Monday. And then, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you enjoyed New York City. It's beautiful out.